When a crisis hits, human instinct takes over. The world spins out of control, and our immediate reaction is to look up and beg for a lifeline. We want the chaos to stop. We want rescue. We often approach these moments with a fill-in-the-blank prayer. God, please give me, and then we insert whatever feels most urgent. Money, health, safety, relief. But the biblical mandate operates on a reversal of that logic. We are commanded to fill our blank with the things that matter to God, specifically His reputation and His kingdom. According to Jesus, if a person prioritizes seeking God's kingdom and acting in harmony with His will, God takes over the logistics. He providentially supplies the daily bread. You secure His honor. He provides the necessities. This spiritual economy sounds perfectly reasonable when life is stable. The question is whether that formula holds up when the safety net is gone, and circumstances offer no way out. To see if this holds, we have to examine what happens when individuals are entirely stripped of their personal power. Consider Joseph. Betrayed by his own brothers and sold into slavery in Egypt, he possessed zero agency. His freedom was gone, his future dictated by those who owned him. Working in Potiphar's house, he faced relentless pressure from his master's wife. When he fled from her, it wasn't a strategic move to save his job. He drew a hard line because he refused to sin against God. He prioritized God's reputation over his own physical safety. The immediate result of his faithfulness was a false accusation and a sentence in a royal dungeon. From a human perspective, his commitment to honor God had finished him off. But because Joseph protected God's honor, God repurposed the resulting injustice. That prison sentence positioned Joseph to meet the king's cupbearer, creating the path that eventually placed him second in command over all of Egypt. Joseph's story suggests that success and hardship isn't determined by manipulating your environment. It relies on a character committed to the will of God, allowing the burden itself to become a bridge. Centuries later, Daniel faced a similar erasure of power. Taken hostage as a teenager, he was forced into an aggressive Babylonian re-education program. They even replaced his name, which honored God, with one honoring a pagan deity, trying to stamp out his identity. When ordered to eat the king's food, which violated his religious laws, Daniel took a calculated risk. He requested a 10-day diet of vegetables and water, choosing to prioritize God's law over his own political survival in the royal court. At the end of the test, Daniel and his friends emerged healthier than the other candidates. When tested by the king, they proved 10 times better than the empire's most educated advisors. God didn't merely reward the diet, He responded to their fidelity. By choosing to remain loyal to God's will, they were equipped with a supernatural ability to understand visions and dreams. They refused to blend in, and by choosing to stand out to honor God, they were qualified for the very positions they were being trained for. This pattern extends to those outside the halls of power. In the Gospel of Matthew, a marginalized Canaanite woman sought a miracle for her demon-possessed daughter, pushing through a wall of opposition. She met a series of obstacles: silence from Jesus, annoyance from the disciples, and a cultural metaphor that compared her status to a dog waiting for the children's bread. She could have taken offense. Instead, she publicly honored Christ's authority, arguing that even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. Jesus immediately healed her daughter. She didn't demand a seat at the table. She simply believed that even a fraction of His grace was enough to change her reality. Her persistence shows that authentic faith recognizes a vital truth. The smallest remnant of God's power is limitless and fathomless. Joseph, Daniel, and the Canaanite woman all found themselves in situations where they had zero control over their environments, yet they all exercised total control over their personal integrity. Their lives define character as an unconquerable commitment to the will of God, even when the immediate outcome looks like a loss. This is the practical outworking of the promise in 1 Samuel, "I will honor those who honor me." When you face a crisis, the challenge is to pivot. Instead of exhausting your energy on escape routes, evaluate how you can use your current abilities to guard God's reputation right where you are. These examples suggest that when a person makes God's honor their singular priority, they aren't just surviving, they are being positioned. By honoring him, a man's burden can be made a bridge for his progress.